This is my Tezzeret Master of the Bridge Affinity deck. Copy of the 4 copies of Tezzeret Master of the Bridge, 4 copies of Eldican Archmage, 4 copies of Psi Master Thopterus, 4 copies of Ancestral Statue, 4 copies of Sojourner's Companion, 4 copies of Frogmite, 4 copies of Ornithopter Paradise, 4 copies of Ornithopter, 4 copies of Memnite, 4 copies of Crystal Shard, 4 copies of Darksteel Citadel, 4 copies of MISCS Bridge, 4 copies of Vintage Fair, 4 Swamps, and 4 Islands. So that's a 60 card deck. We have 20 lands and 40 cards to play with. Tezzeret Master of the Bridge, so Legendary Planeswalker, has the effect of creatures and Planeswalker spells you cast have affinity for artifacts, which is really nice. We definitely utilize that effect with Ancestral Statue, so that way we can turn Ancestral Statue into an affinity artifact creature. So we can take advantage of that. The fact it's an artifact and a feature. And then he has the +2 loyalty counter ability, where he deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control, and you gain X life. So this is obviously really good. Gaining life is always important, because it helps you stay in the game longer. Making your opponent lose life is important, of course, because that's how you win the game. So, love that synergy. And that's the main effect we're going to be using. These are WinCon. So, he has a -3 ability, where you return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Then he has the -8 ability, exile the top 10 cards of your library, put all artifact cards from among them onto the battlefield. Nice effects, but we only need that +2 ability, and it's a continuous effect. So, the goal is to ramp so we can play this out. I'll play it out for 6. And then, while we already have Psi Master Thopterus already in play, so that way when we play Ancestral Statue for free, through a Tezzeret's ability, play for free, we will, since it's an artifact spell, this will trigger and make a 1/1 color Thopter artifact creature token with flying. And then, since this has the ability to let you return a permanent except a land from your that you control to your hand, since you control him, you can bounce him back to your hand. For the obvious reason of casting him again, getting another Thopter token, bounce him back to your hand, cast him again, make another token, bounce him back to your hand, keep doing that over and over again with these 2 cards, because you have Tezzeret's Master of Bridges out. So step 1 will be to play Master Thopterus, step 2 will be to play Tezzeret Master of the Bridges, and then start playing Ancestral Statue multiple times until you have enough artifact creature, Thopter tokens, because they are artifact creatures. And then do the +2 ability to deal X damage for all the artifacts you control. So the tokens count as artifacts for this effect. So that's a 3-card combo right there. So you can burn your opponent for 20, gain 20, that kind of stuff. We have Eldican Archmage that we could combine, or at least we can use to draw into our combo pieces. Because whenever you cast an artifact spell, draw a card. So something you can do every turn if you have him in play would be to play Ancestral Statue to draw a card, then bounce this back to hand, so that way the next turn you can play it, draw a card, right? If you have 2 of them in play, which I like to do is have 2, you draw 2 cards every time, so that speeds the process up. And anytime you get like an Ornithopter, Memnite, Frogmite, Sojourner's Companion, you could play for free. Play for free and draw 2 cards and start drawing into your combo pieces and set up your WinCon. So that's why he's in the deck, to help you draw the cards you need. And we already mentioned Psi Master Thopterus. Whenever it's a legendary creature, so you can only have 1 of him in play at any given time. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a adopter token. He has the pay one color, oh, pay one blue, one of anything. Sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card. Obviously, you could sacrifice the tokens, the artifact tokens, in order to trigger this effect. So you could use this effect as a draw engine to help you draw stuff you need. And like I said, a simple thing you can do is use Ancestral Statue along with Psi Master and keep making tokens and use it to use the tokens to block, to defend yourself. Where you have a defense. Install long enough to get enough energy to enough mana to play your Tezzeret, and then combine Tezzeret, Master Thopterus, and Ancestral Statue, and just make a whole bunch of tokens, and then burn your opponent for game. So that's the idea. You want to stall as much as possible. That's why we got Crystal Shards to help us try to stall our opponent out, so we can get to the 6 energy we need to, 6 mana we need to play our combo. So we have Sojourner's Companion, Affinity for Artifact. It's a 7 cost. So if you have 7 artifacts, you can play this for free. It has artifact land cycling. Pay 2, discard this card. Search your library for an artifact land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I normally use Mirror Enforcer, but this has an awesome effect. It's just like Mirror Enforcer, but it has an added ability. The added ability is very helpful because if you're in a scenario where you need a land, because you're having trouble drawing lands, and let's say you have 2 lands, of course you want to get up to at least 4 lands to play the most basic aspect of the deck. 6 lands is to play your ultimate strategy. Sometimes if you're stuck with 2 lands, that's going to be a problem. You want to get to at least 3 lands so you can play most of your cards and be able to use those cards to stall. Then that's where this comes in. We do have Ornithopter of Paradise, which can produce mana, so it's a 2-drop, so that comes in handy if you're in a scenario where you only have 2 lands. This can make up for you missing your land drop by playing that. And this can help you literally go get a land, so that way you don't miss your land drop. So, gotta love the synergy of that. So moving on, he's a 4/4, so good beater. Definitely want to attack your opponent, weaken them enough that 10 artifacts is enough for Tezzeret to finish them off. Frogmite, Affinity for Artifacts. If you have 4 artifacts, it'll cost 0. It's a 2/2. That's it. So it does. Ornithopter Paradise, like I said, it's a 0/2 flyer with the ability to tap, add 1 mana of any color. This comes in handy whenever you need black in order to play out your Tezzeret Master of the Bridges. But typically you'll use blue for your Baltic and Archmage and your Psi Master Therapist. Ornithopter, a 0/2 flyer. It costs 0. That's all it does. Memnite, it's a 0/1/1. So this definitely will help you start your early game damage and get out there, start chipping at your opponent's life, trying to get them low enough that Tezzeret can finish them off in 1 turn, and then it's cost 0, so it's an artifact. So you can be able to trigger your Baltic and Archmage ability, your Psi Master Therapist. One of the things you want to do, obviously, with the Therapist, the Thopterus, is play him first and then play your 0 stuff and your affinity stuff, so that way you can trigger the effect of making the tokens. And of course, the tokens are artifacts, so it further reduces the cost of the affinity artifacts you have. Then we have a Crystal Shard. You pay 3 to play it. You could pay 3 and tap this card, or pay 1 blue and tap this card to return target creature to his owner's hand, unless the controller pays 1. What's nice about this is you can target any creature. You can target your own creatures, not just your opponent. So you could use this defensively, offensively. You can use this to get rid of something, one of your opponent's creatures that could be a blocker or something, like a flyer or something that could get in your way, or just a problematic card. You can use this defensively, obviously. Your opponent attacks with a creature, you can use this to bounce it back to their hand, so that way it causes them to have to replay the card, and with Summoning Sickness, you don't have to worry about it attacking as soon as they play it, unless it has haste. But other than that, you'll take advantage of Summoning Sickness with this, so it's a great card in that regards. Obviously, if you have multiple copies of this card, you can target the same creature with this card, with the multiple copies of this card, so that way, if your opponent can afford 1 mana for this card's effect, they won't be able to pay for the second copy that you use. So you could do that. But the main thing is being able to use this to bounce your own stuff that you can play for free. So that way you pay 1 blue, bounce one of your Ornithopters to your hands, for example, and play it for free. So you can trigger your Psy Master Thopterus ability to, make a token, or use your Valdekan Archmage ability to draw a card. So you're literally with Valdekan Archmage and Crystal Shards and an Ornithopter, for example, you can, create a draw engine there, draw into other, your other combo pieces. You can obviously use, Ornithopter or any of your free play, your cards that you can play for, creature cards you can play for free. Bounce it to your hand with Crystal Shard for 1 blue, and then just replay it to trigger a Psy Master Therapist's ability to make a token, create a reliable token generating engine to use to block, to attack, to do whatever you need the tokens for. You can obviously use the tokens for Psy's ability to sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card, so you can create a draw engine in that regards. So Crystal Shard is pretty versatile. It's an artifact, so obviously it helps with the affinity. Darksteel Citadel is an artifact land, so it helps with the affinity. It's an indestructible. You tap it for 1 colorless energy. MISCS Vaulting Bridge, artifact land, so it helps with the affinity. And of course, it helps with Tezzeret's ability to deal your opponent damage because they're artifacts. And then it creates blue or black, whichever color you need. It comes in handy, so there's some mana fixing, and it comes into play tap. So usually this is the first land you want to play at the beginning of the game, because it comes into play tapped. Adventurous Fair, very, very important land. It's a legendary land, so you can only have 1 at a time. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain a life. This comes in handy, because a lot of times you might not want to block with your artifacts, you want to keep them in play. So a lot of times you'll take attacks. And some attacks could be small, like 1 damage at a time type thing. And this will help you mitigate that damage by gaining at least 1 life back every turn, so that way you're just at least 1 life. You'll have 1 life long. You'll live 1 life longer in the game. You could potentially get 1 extra turn just because you gained that 1 life. So it's very important. So definitely a land you want to see as soon as possible. Because once you start playing your artifacts, you want to start gaining life real quick. Tap, make colorless energy. Also has the ability where you can pay 4, tap, sacrifice Adventurous Fair to search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. Activate this ability only if you control 3 or more artifacts. We don't really use that effect, but it is possible. You might be in a scenario where you really need that effect. Because it can help you get your ancestral statue, and you combine your statue with your Psy and your Tezzeret, and go off. You might need to use this to get you a Crystal Shard if you need that as a option. So, but it's rare to actually use that effect. We just have it for the life gaining. And then we got Core Swamps. 4 islands. So we have some black and blue in the deck because we have some black and blue cards that require that energy. So there's that, and yeah, I already explained that you want to get your master out, your side master out, get out your Tezzeret, and have an Ancestral statue, and then just create a whole bunch of tokens and burn your opponent. So, of course, we are trying to ramp up there. So that's why we got the Owner Adopt the Paradise. Being able to produce mana. Then we of course have lands, and being able to play stuff for free and use it to block, and then just stall long enough, deal some damage as well. Weaken our opponent enough that Tezzeret will be more than enough to take your opponent down, just as effect. And that's the end of the video. So we're gonna do some test hands. Tezzeret deck. So draw. This hand looks pretty good. Yep, you got the combo piece, you got the Ancestral statue, you got the Master there, Adopterus, and we have the Tezzeret Master of the Bridges, and we have 3 lands and an Adopter. We're definitely going to start off with our this. So we're going to keep this hand, so we're not going to mulligan because it's actually a good hand. So we're going to start off with our MISCS Volta Bridge, then we'll play our Ornithopter, get it out there as soon as possible. Don't want to keep too many things in our hands. Trying to empty out our hands as quickly as possible. And our turn is our opponent's turn. They do whatever they do, and then it's our turn. Not much is going to be happening in the first couple turns. Obviously, like I said, the sooner you get this out, the better. Not much here to do. Not enough. We got 2 artifacts. So then this will cost 2. So yeah, we can play this. So that's good. 1, 2. So now we got 1, 2, 3 artifacts. So now our Inventor Sphere is live. Then our turn, it's opponent's turn, our turn. We gain in life, so let's just add that to our turn. I want to keep track of that. We play Citadel just so we can get more artifacts out there. Now we can play, because we got the 3 energy lands we need. Now we can play our sign. And all we're waiting for is to get to the point where we can play our Tezzeret and then be able to play our Ancestral statue right afterwards and with the infinite combo. And so play that. We could attack with this just so we can try to weaken our opponent. So attack, opponent will take a hit, gain a life. So let's say we lost 1 life, so then we gain a life. So that's our turn. So you get the idea. It's pretty simple. Play a land. Play this for free. Get a token. So let's create a token. Put a token. I like to use a marker on it. So we got 1 token there. We got the 4 energy. Then we could play this. So tap 4. So we could play the statue, right? The statue's effect. Since we cast it, we get a token, and then the statue's effect will let us bounce it back to our hand. So we can reuse it every turn and keep making adopter tokens. So now we got adopter token engine, and we can attack with 1 of the tokens that we made a turn prior. Get the idea. And we can use the other one as a shield, as defense. Good stuff. Let's say we did lose 1, so let's minus that. It's our turn. We gain a life because of the Inventor Sphere card. This is good because this will give us more energy. So play this. Tap these 2. to play it, get another doctor tokens to further, defend ourselves, right? Further wall up. And this right here can now produce energy. So this plus the 4 we already have. So that right there is 5 energy. So we hope that our next card is a land, and then we can go off. So we just got to survive this turn. So we end our turn. Right? Let's say we lose our tokens, and say we lose an Ornithopter or something because we were blocking, just so we can not take too much damage, just enough to stay in the game, untap. We still have enough artifacts to gain a life. Our turn, keep drawing. We then get to land, but we did get a shard, which is useful because it gives us the ability to do something. So play it for 3. So tap 3. Always tap the colorless stuff and keep the color energy up, because the color energy, you want to use it for the shard, obviously. We play this, we make a token, so we can keep our defenses up, and we currently have 1 and 2 energy here, because this could create blue energy. This could create blue energy, obviously. So, just waiting for one more turn. We're just waiting for one more land, and then we can go off. So right now, we're just like end our turn, and then we can use the shard on the energy here, and then bounce, one of our opponent's creatures back to the hand, so that way it slows them down. Obviously, we could have done this on our turn when they're already tapped out, because they didn't know we were going to play this. So let's say we play this, right, and then we just automatically use it, bounce one of the creatures back to the hands, so that we can't attack with it. And if they want the creature on the field, they're going to have to play it again, right? So we could take advantage of that. So this helps us slow our opponent down. So let's say it did. We gain life. Gain life. Draw for turn. Still didn't get what we wanted, but we can still play this for 4. Still play that for 4. Getting a token. We can just because I want to create another token, add the Ornithopter back to my hand through the effect, right? We'll tap this, right, to return this one back to our hand, so we can have them back in our hand. Then we can play this free, make another token, so we can just further increase our defenses. You can get the idea of the stuff we can do. Opponent's turn, our turn, gain life, draw a card. Oh, it's not what we wanted, but it is what we need. So, off the bat, well, we do want this because it will give us what we need. So, pay 2 blue, 2 of anything to play this. And once we play an artifact spell, we obviously draw a card. So we get to make a token with this, we get to draw with this. So obviously, since we have this here to make energy, we tap this for the blue, tap the shard to bounce the Ornithopter back to our hand. Play the Ornithopter, make a token, draw a card. Alright, so we got him, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have plenty of artifacts, so we could play this for free. Make another token, draw another card. Okay. So nothing else here to play, but we were able to wall up, and now we got a nice big 4 drop on the field. So it's taken a while for us to get 1 extra. Oh, oops, I forgot. Here was a way we could have got the land. Oh well. That's still an option. Okay, that's still an option. That is still an option. Still an option. Oh, let's see. We end our turn, so our opponent's turn, our turn. We gain in life, just, you know, hypothetical. I forgot, it's like, oh man, we just got what we needed to help us get the land. Ironically, we drew a land, but it's the fact that that's why we have the companion deck. This is what actually helped us to get the land, so we actually got to what we needed to try to get the land. But now we drew it, and that's it. Now it's game, which is base 6 for game. We need 1 black, 1 blue, so this will give us a black energy. This gives us a blue energy, obviously, and then 4 of everything, 4 of anything. So there's a total 6 energy. Play this. This lets us play this for free. Now we can make a token and draw, token draw, token draw. We have more than enough to do this card's ability because it's currently at 5, and then we just do its ability at 2 loyalties to it, and our opponent loses X life. We gain X life. So gain X life. You get the idea. Even if you get a scenario where you finally get this on the field and you don't get to make your opponent lose enough life, that is okay, because since you're gaining life in the process of activating your Planeswalker's effect, that will further help you get to the extra turn you need, right? Especially when you're using your Doctor tokens to block and stuff, and then your Adventurous Fair, you know, it's going to help you get your get another life, so that greatly increases your chance of staying in the game long enough to get this to, you know, win you the game. See you in another video.